All right, let's dive into a really profound idea from the Yogacara Bhumi Shastra. We're going to talk about the 22 roots that literally shape our reality. And get this, these aren't just some ancient, dusty philosophy. Nope. They're the actual mechanisms that control our experience every single moment. Understanding them, well, that's the key to becoming the master of your own mind. So, we're going to start with a question that I think gets to the very heart of being human. How do we actually take the steering wheel of our own lives? Instead of just being tossed around by every little thing that happens to us. Well, according to this teaching, the answer is all about understanding these fundamental roots that are running the show behind the scenes. To really get this, we first have to nail down what a root or indriya even means. And no, we're not talking about gardening here. Its core meaning is dominant function. A great way to think about it is like the CEO of a specific department in your mind. It's the force that has the most power, the most influence in that area. It's the one calling the shots. Okay, so first, let's look at the roots that build the very fabric of our everyday lives. These are the ones we all know. And while we absolutely need them to function, they often end up acting like fetters, kind of binding us to this endless cycle of just reacting to things. This breakdown is so cool. You can see how these roots create our entire world. First, you've got the six sense roots: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind itself. These are the bosses when it comes to just perceiving everything. Then you have the five feeling roots: pleasure, pain, joy, grief. You get the idea. These are in charge of how we experience all the ups and downs. And finally, the roots that just keep the lights on, so to speak, sustaining our physical life. This whole package deal, that's our baseline reality. But here it is, this is the crucial turning point. The teaching says that the very same things that can tie us up in knots, the very same faculties that bind us, are also the exact keys we need for our liberation. It's a total double-edged sword, and everything, and I mean everything, depends on how we learn to use them. And that brings us to a whole new category of roots. We're shifting gears from the roots that simply react to the world to the ones that can actually transform it from the inside out. These are the keys to liberation. They make up the active path of practice that leads us straight towards genuine awakening. Now, check this out. You can see there are two stages to this whole transformation. First, you've got the worldly pure roots, things like faith, diligence, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. Think of these as the foundation, the stuff we build in our day-to-day lives. But then, you have the supramundane roots. It's a fancy word, but it just means they go beyond our ordinary experience. These aren't just building blocks anymore. They are the direct, unshakable breakthroughs that lead straight to freedom. And the original text, so direct, so powerful about these final roots, it says their whole job is to allow for the direct realization of nirvana, not in some faraway future life, but right here, right now, in this very life. That just shows you their incredible potential, doesn't it? So, the big question is, how does this actually work? I mean, how do we get from being tangled up in our senses and feelings to realizing this incredible freedom? Well, luckily for us, there's a blueprint, a clear, step-by-step guide that lays out the whole process. It all kicks off with faith. This is the foundation, the trust that makes you want to even step onto the path. That faith then fuels your diligence, the energy to keep going when it gets tough. Your hard work then supports mindfulness, helping you stay aware and clear. This stability, in turn, allows for deep concentration. And it's from that steady, unshakable place that the final piece of the puzzle emerges: liberating wisdom, the kind of insight that just cuts through all the confusion for good. See how each step just flows perfectly into the next? So here's the bottom line. These 22 roots, they're the whole picture. They represent everything we are right now and everything we could possibly become, our current state and our full potential. But the real power of this whole teaching is realizing that we have a choice. So the question becomes, which of these forces are you going to choose to make the dominant one in your life? And that really leaves us with one final thing to think about, a question to take away with you. Just look at your own life, your own mind, your own actions today. Which root are you actively watering? Are you putting all your energy into the root of chasing fleeting pleasure, or maybe the root of grief, or are you watering the roots of mindfulness, wisdom, and faith? Because the answer to that question determines the entire direction of your life.